Well, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation surrounding BlackRock is something that we need to continue having because not a lot of people are talking about the company themselves. They're only talking about what the actual effect of this company is on whatever different avenues of, investments they might actually have in the entertainment scene, real estate, pensions, whatever the case may be. All people are talking about is the effect. They're not talking about the company themselves. BlackRock just recently admitted, and again, by recent, I mean, on March 1st, I found an old article here that's very interesting to today's conversation. But BlackRock CEO Larry Fink admitted that woke ESG activism and focusing on that could be materially adversely hit business, meaning it could basically hurt business if they keep focusing on woke ESG stuff.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser.
Now, this article comes to us from New York Post, and like I said, it's interesting that they would actually even admit this, right? Especially Larry Fink, of all people, because he's the one that is actively pursuing this. He's the one that is pushing this nonsense, and he's the face of the company, which is why he had to pay for triple the amount of security this year, because apparently he feels like his life is in danger, even though he is the one trying to enact social change. He is the one trying to force ideology and change on people that aren't necessarily trying to do that. So anyway, guys, let's get into this article from New York Post. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. And I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still sick, so if I sound like shit, well, it is what it is. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink's efforts to embrace woke environmental, social, and governance policies, commonly known as ESG, could materially adversely slam the investment titan's core business, the investment giant admitted in a regulatory filing. Now, think about this for a second. Think about the fact that they openly admit that they could actually hurt their business, and they still decide to do it anyway, right? It goes to show just how powerful this whole thing is. Like, how strong is the ESG message that this company that has trillions of dollars is willing to admit that they're going to hurt their business by chasing it, right? It says the risk factors for BlackRock's stock price include the fact that BlackRock's business, scale, and investments subject to its significant media coverage and increasing attention from a broad range of stakeholders, the firm disclosed in its annual 10-K filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Matters subject to scrutiny, such as ESG, may be viewed differently by various stakeholders and adversely impact BlackRock's reputation and business, including through redemptions or terminations by clients and legal and governmental action and scrutiny, said the filing, which was submitted on February 23rd. So, yeah. Basically, ESG could be viewed as good or bad depending on who's looking at it, right? That's essentially what they're saying here. And unfortunately, like an old saying came from Michael Jordan, Republicans buy shoes too. And you guys got to understand that this ESG nonsense is basically swinging the bat one way. You're only swinging on the opposite side. You're not factoring in both sides. So eventually, after a certain point, you're going to start realizing you're going to alienate 50% of potential clients. And that's not going to be good for business, right? So yes, Republicans still buy shoes. And you got to start realizing that these companies that get woke and go broke, obviously BlackRock is not going to go broke anytime soon. I'll probably die before they go broke, but still, you got to realize, yeah, you could start losing potential clients. You could start losing money. You could absolutely start losing significant amount of money if you get woke. That's just what it is. It says a spokesperson for BlackRock told the Post that it has included risk factors related to ESG and sustainability matters going back several years, adding that the firm serves clients with a range of investment objectives and demands. BlackRock, the world's largest money manager, has an ESG portfolio reportedly valued at $700 billion dollars, a small percentage of its $10 trillion in total assets under management. It has projected that by 2030, at least 3/4 of its investments will be issuers of securities that have scientific targets to cut greenhouse gas emissions on a net basis. The firm has pioneered Go Green initiatives thanks to its CEO Fink, who has boasted about climate change's long-term threat to the economy and investment opportunity during his 50-year career on Wall Street. So again, think about this for a second. $700 billion dollars in ESG. You mean to tell me that all these gaming companies out there right now aren't actively trying to go get some of that pie? You really want to sit here and call this a conspiracy theory that ESG and BlackRock funding and Vanguard funding is all just conspiracy theories? It's not, ladies and gentlemen. $700 billion is nothing to scoff at. $700 billion is something that is absolutely going to be chased after by all these woke-ass CEOs in gaming studios right now now, or even in Hollywood, they're going to come after this money because it's free. It's easy money. Go for the money. As long as you push the ESG stuff and you increase BlackRock's ESG portfolio, they will absolutely fund you and give you the money. So go get it. Go get the money. Of course they're going to. It says, however, ESG, which encompasses a range of ethically responsible business practices, from curbing carbon emissions to cracking down on discrimination in the workplace, has become politically polarizing, as BlackRock noted in the 10K SEC filing. Though Democrats have defended the need for ESG in the workplace, Republican politicians have attacked ESG as President Joe Biden's woke wave for the corporate world to implement what they argue is a politically liberal agenda, which... it's not an argument. It is. Like, ESG inherently is a politically liberal agenda. That is what it's for. That is what they advocate for. That is what they push. They push everything on the liberal side of things. They have almost nothing on the right side of things, right? So, like, when you look at it, it is absolutely a leftist agenda. That's what it is. BlackRock was even targeted back in 2022 by 19 state attorneys generals in conservative states, including Arizona and Texas, who alleged that the asset managers' ESG-related politics hurt the American energy industry, which they do. They do. You guys are seeing it all the time, right? You guys remember, like, I don't know if you realize, in California just recently made an announcement last year that they're going to ban 25% of gas car sales, ultimately leading to 100% gas car sales within the next, 10 years or whatever. And the moment they made that announcement of banning 25% gas car sales, literally that same weekend, they made an announcement for everybody in California to not charge their electric vehicles because the grid can't handle it currently on that weekend, that it was just overemployed. Like, it was too much. It was too much. Like, you have two oxymoron statements within days apart, and you're trying to tell me ESG is for the better of the country? Absolutely not. We know it's not. It's just simply to do social climate control and just overall social control in general, not just for climate change, just everything socially based. It says the move led to an investment boycott of BlackRock in Texas, which is good, when the Lone Star State barred its biggest pension fund from investing in any of the 350 funds run by BlackRock and other financial firms. Fink said last year that he stopped using the catch-all term because of how politicized it has become. I don't use the word ESG anymore because it's been entirely weaponized by the far left and weaponized by the far right. Fink said nothing that dropping the term wouldn't change BlackRock's stance. So how are you going to say that it's been weaponized by the far left when you have weaponized the far left yourself? You're the one who has weaponized them yourself. It's not, like, if they weaponize your term, you should be proud of them, right? Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of ESG. You should be proud that the left have weaponized it, because that's what you are doing with them. You are weaponizing the left to push this nonsense and try to advocate for forced social change that a lot of people don't want. You're trying to pretend as if this is normal. It's not. We know it's not. And the fact that you have to use money to make it normal proves that it's not. So ultimately, at the end of the day, listen, BlackRock is going to do what they're going to do. We already know what they're about. What they didn't realize is the amount of press that they were going to get. They were a company that liked working in the shadows. They got to the $10 trillion asset number by working in the shadows. They didn't get to $10 trillion by being in the public eye in the news all the time. They didn't do that. They got there by working in the shadows. So now, all of a sudden, that they're in the news 24/7 because everybody's talking about them. And recently, in gaming especially, everybody's talking about them. Now it's gotten to a point where they are in the public eye now. So now they're realizing what it's like to actually do all this stuff and be talked about at the same time. They're not used to that. So we'll see what ends up happening to this company as time goes on. But even they admitted that what they're doing is polarizing, and they're choosing to lose money potentially and push the message anyway. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
Everything woke turns to shit.